You're broke. You need new work boots. The cheap ones cost $60 and last 3 months. The good ones cost $150 and last 2 years. Which do you buy? If you said the good ones, congratulations, you're not broke. Because when you're broke, you can't afford to save money. Welcome to the most expensive trap in America. Being broke costs money every single day, and most people don't even realize they're paying the broke tax. Let me show you how expensive poverty actually is. Here's how it works. You're living paycheck to paycheck, not because you're irresponsible. You're working full-time, maybe 2 jobs, but rent is $1,200, food is $400, utilities are $200, car payment and insurance is $450. That's $2,250 just to survive. You're making $2,400 a month. You've got $150 left for everything else. Now, here's where it gets expensive. That car you're driving, it's old, it breaks down, $600 repair bill. But you don't have $600, you've got $150. So what are your options? You can't not fix it, you need it for work. Can't get a loan, your credit's shot. So you go to a payday lender. The payday place will give you $600 right now, today, no questions. There's just one tiny detail. You pay them back $720 in 2 weeks. That's $120 in fees for a 2-week loan. That's 400% annual interest. But you need that car today, not in 2 weeks. So you take the deal. 2 weeks pass, time to pay back the $720. But remember that $150 cushion you had? You spent that on gas and food. You got paid again, another $2,400. But all your bills are still due. Rent, utilities, food, car. You've still got $150 left. Now you owe $720. You can't pay it. So you do what millions of Americans do. You roll it over. Take a new $720 loan to pay off the old $720. Except now you owe $864 because there's a rollover fee. Next time, $1,038, then $1,246. The debt is growing faster than you can earn, and you still need that car fixed next month when something else breaks. This isn't about one bad decision. It's about a system designed to extract money from people who don't have money. Every overdraft fee, every late payment charge, every check cashing fee, every predatory loan, they all hit the same people, the ones who can least afford it. Now let's talk about the breaking point. You've been juggling for months, robbing Peter to pay Paul. Then your kid gets sick. Emergency room. They won't see you without insurance. You don't have insurance. It's $400 a month you can't afford. But your kid is burning up with fever. So they see you. $1,800. Due immediately. You sign the paperwork. What choice do you have? Now you owe $1,800 on top of everything else. The hospital sells your debt to a collection agency for pennies on the dollar. That agency calls you 5 times a day. Your credit score drops another 100 points. Getting an apartment now? Forget it. Getting a better job? Many employers check credit. You're trapped. Here's what broke people know that others don't. Emergencies aren't emergencies. They're inevitable. The transmission will fail. The tooth will crack. The furnace will die. It's not bad luck. It's probability. When you've got no cushion, no savings, no safety net, the next crisis isn't if, it's when. And when it hits, you don't have a bad day. You have a life-changing catastrophe.
So the transmission goes. $2,400. You default on the payday loan because you can't pay both. They sue you. Court fees. Wage garnishment. They take 25% of your paycheck before you even see it. Now you're making $1,800 instead of $2,400, but your bills are still $2,250. The math doesn't work anymore. You can't afford rent. This is the moment, the breaking point. You're working full-time. You're not lazy. You're not irresponsible. You made one unavoidable choice, fix your car so you could work, and the system turned that into a death spiral. Now you're choosing between rent and food. This is America for 40% of adults who can't cover a $400 emergency. Let's say you somehow survive this month. You pay rent, you skip meals, you make it work. What does this cost you long term? Everything. Because while you're drowning, everyone else is building wealth. Your coworker making the same salary, she had $1,000 saved when her car broke. She paid cash, saved $600. You paid $720 in fees. That's a $1,320 difference from the same emergency. It compounds year after year. While she's investing in a 401k that's growing at 7% annually, you're paying 400% interest. While she's building credit to buy a house, you're preparing credit just to rent an apartment. While she's getting deals on insurance because of good credit, you're paying double because of bad credit. The wealth gap isn't just income, it's the cost of being broke. So why doesn't this change? Because it's profitable, massively profitable. Banks made $15 billion last year from overdraft fees alone. $15 billion from people who don't have money. Payday lenders, $9 billion industry. The rent-to-own business, $10 billion. There's an entire economy built on extracting money from broke people, and they fight every reform tooth and nail. Some places are trying to help. Credit unions that offer small emergency loans at fair rates, nonprofits that help build budgets, apps that spot you $100 interest-free. But these can't compete with the convenience and marketing of predatory lenders. There's a payday loan place on every corner. There's one credit union 20 miles away. Guess which one the broke person uses? So how do you escape? The honest answer? It's incredibly hard. But here's what actually works. First, if you can possibly scrape together even $500, put it somewhere you can't easily access, a savings account at a different bank with no debit card. That $500 is your freedom fund. It breaks the payday loan cycle. Second, banks are required to let you opt out of overdraft protection. Do it right now. Overdraft protection costs you $35 every time. Without it, your card just declines. That's embarrassing, but it's free. Choose embarrassment over debt. Third, community matters. Food banks exist for a reason. Use them. They're not charity. They're infrastructure. You paid taxes that fund them. Churches that offer free budget counseling. Library programs that teach financial literacy. There's no shame in asking for help when the system is designed to drown you. Remember those boots from the beginning? The $60 ones that last 3 months versus the $150 ones that last 2 years? That's not a metaphor. That's called the Vimes Theory of economics from author Terry Pratchett, and it perfectly captures the whole system. The reason the rich were so rich was because they managed to spend less money, because they could afford it. This is America in 2025. 40% of adults can't cover a $400 emergency without going into debt. Not because they're lazy, not because they're dumb, because the math doesn't work when you start with nothing. Every emergency becomes a crisis. Every crisis becomes a trap, and the system profits from that trap. But here's what gives me hope. You're watching this. You're learning. Knowledge is the first step. Now you see the trap. You see the fees. You see how it compounds. You can't unsee it. And when enough people see it, things can change. Maybe slowly, maybe painfully, but they can change. The math of being broke is simple and brutal. When you have nothing, everything costs more. But understanding the math is the first step to changing it. Stay informed, stay angry, and whatever you do, protect that $500 emergency fund like your life depends on it, because it does.